It's really windy, so it's good for building, not for flying. I made a new type of wing. It's thin foam, about 1/8 an inch thick. And it's no aerofoil, but it's curved. It took me about 15 minutes to make it. So I can show YouTube how to make a wing for a rubber band powered plane or a glider. You need glue, a hacksaw blade, a fine sander, a rough sander, a Stanley knife, and scissors, a ruler and a marker and some tape. Okay, let's start. Mark about 1/8 inch around the box, around the foam thing. Let's see how quickly I can do it. You go a bit slower the first time. This is the most skillful part, cutting it with a hacksaw blade. You could slice it right through probably if you're good enough, but I don't know if I'm that good. And don't try it. Go like this and go just a little bit deep, not too deep, and make it right on the line. And get into about 1 inch deep or so, at least, and do it right around. So the next tip I want to show you, when you're doing it, start off shallow, like that, and when you're coming in deeper, you're going to make sure, demonstrate with this, that the blade's straight. You don't want it like that or like that. You see, you want it really straight, so you've got to concentrate, and that's the secret, to get it straight, you know. A bit of my mucked up there, but it should be alright. Stick it on my neck. Now, I'm trying to go as straight as I can, straight down, probably nearly 2 inches deep or something. Not quite that much, 1 inch and a bit, you know. You can't go too far. If you go too far, you stray. That's the trouble. And the edge is the same. Keep doing it till you get nearly like 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. And then you cut it just straight. You don't just cut it. You have a look every 4 strokes or something. Do like that, you see, you keep looking. That's why I'm angling it to look, you see. You gotta be really careful. On both sides, just go all the way down, slice the whole thing. This is for people who haven't got a hot wire. I couldn't be bothered setting the hot wire up. They've got the wing thin stuff, it's really thin, probably a bit too thin, but it doesn't matter. Now, saying it was a rough file, this is a really rough file. And use something to put it on so you can do it comfortably. That's not real good. Maybe here or something. Be real careful not to break it. Buckle and break the foam because it'll go outwards more, or just be really careful. It's really reducing. It's reducing quickly. Then when it all level sort of thing. It'll still be a bit rough, but you're making a quick wing. You spend a lot more time on it and you always get it smooth. Make the wing in sort of a lot longer than taking on this, but not too much. They double the time. If it takes 10 minutes, you should spend 20 on it. 20 minutes is not too long to spend. Okay, it's finished. the next thing I'm going to try and do is give it a nice flat surface and smooth it out. Might have some rough bits in it, but it's on the bottom. You won't see it's a bit rough there, something happened there. If it's rough in places, it doesn't matter too much, it still flies as it's light. So this wing's much better. And to push hard on it, it does reduce quite quickly, but you got to be careful when you push hard too, you know. It's a skill. There you go, it's pretty smooth. It's got a couple of holes in it here, that's all it is. Must have jammed, the blade must have put the holes in it somehow, you know. Be real careful if the blade goes quiet with it, with the hacksaw blade. Okay, now it's pretty well done. Sanded it back pretty well, except for that couple of holes in it. It's not real good. It's not too bad though. It's just a couple of holes. Now we got that, and this is a bit funny too, it's a bit bubbly. Most foam's not like that. You can just give that a bit of a quick go, you know. Now, you find the middle. Of course you have to trim it off first like this, you see, you get a available shape you can get, you see. You can stick a piece in there, but now I have to cut this off with a Stanley knife blade. Really careful with this and have it really sharp, because otherwise it just rips all the foam apart instead of cutting, you know. You got that. You've got to find the middle. Use my marker to find the middle. And do a line. The middle. Now all you have to do to make the dihedral, no joke, it's really easy. You just get the hacksaw blade and cut into it with a hacksaw blade till you get a gap. But you don't go from one edge to the other, you stop and start, because it's hard to see. I don't even know if that's in view, so I've got to come right back, you see. It's really hard to find the geometry on a camera. Between there and there is cut pretty well right through with the hacksaw blade. And all you need now is a bit of sticky tape. You have to glue it first if you're making the plane. And I suggest if you're using rubber band powered planes or gliders, you know, use PVA glue, not the heat gun glue, because heat gun glues be too heavy. And once you've glued it, I just pretended I'm gluing it. Oops, not in view. I glued it. Now, before you do the tape bit, you bend the wings like this, you see, like towards the centre of the wing, not on the tips. Just you bend it like that, you see. That'll be enough. Then you get and just crank it up like that. Keep it cranked up like that, and stick the sticky tape on after blowing all the foam bits off. There you go. And then you've got a dihedral. And at the back, you do the same. Excuse the sticky tape. And on the bottom you do the same. The bottom of the wing, is that in view? I suppose it is. You stick a bit of sticky tape there, see, now it's the whole dihedral and everything. Now, what you got to do is make a template of what the wing shape you want. Then you put it on there and trace around it, you see, to get your wing shape. But I'm just going to keep it like that, you know. Maybe make it a wing shape like this or something. and just trim it with scissors. There's the wing. Now I have to sand it down a bit like this with a fine sander, and as the coarse one on the fine sander, and it's over mean. You don't use the rough, just do that. You just sand it, round it off, and leading edge there. Now I normally don't have a square tip like that, even though it's efficient, because I use really light foam and the square bits tend to break easier. But this is a lot solider, harder foam, so it's less likely for the tips to break, so I could get away with a wing this shape, you know. It'll still be okay. When you've got the really light stuff, it's really light foam and really frail, you know? A bit like this, you know, but all over. And you just sand the back down and you bevel it, you know. And you only the last half inch, you see. So you don't worry about mucking around with it too much. You want a quick wing, you know. Oh shit, it's lucky it didn't break. And just keep beveling it. And just squash it with your hands, you know. And the back, you know. One wing's thinner than the other. By a large metre, show you what you do. Is just go with the rough one on the bottom, not the top, until it's thinned down a bit. It's really rough, but it does take it off. And you fill it in with the smooth one, and you sand it down until there's no that marks left, you know, and that reduces it to the thin as you want it, you know. Just be really careful with the thick one. Be really careful with that, you know, when you're doing that, you know. It's pretty, well, it's put enough pressure on it, it goes pretty instantly, you know. It's pretty well done, yeah. It's a lot better. It's still too thick on that wing, but not too bad. There's the wing. You see, you've got a wing for the plane. If you want a polyhedral, you just do this. Can you see it? Make sure it's perpendicular to the, and you do the same thing, a centimetre or a bit over, not quite a half inch. One there. Oh, went too far there, nearly. Now get the back. And you glue it first, and when the glue dries, you take the sticky tape off. But I'm just going to do the sticky tape at the moment just to show you. It is a wing with a polyhedral. Maybe, yeah, it's pretty good. Got two polyhedral wings. Now that wing would fly pretty good. You should put a stick fuselage on the bottom and have a pylon about an inch deep. A stick fuselage, another great big tailplane, about nearly 3/4 the size, I suppose, 2/3 the size of the main wing, and have the C or G about there, and it'd be a really nice plane, rubber band powered one. Huh? Okay, that's it.